Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the podcast Strikes Back. My name is George and you're listening to the weekly movie show with the boys Connor.
Hello.
And Benny.
Hi there.
Guys, we missed out on the Avengers Endgame trailer last week. We literally finished the show and boom, 4 hours later, there comes the trailer. So
Deja vu.
we have to catch up on that. Plus, what the hell's going on, Disney? James Gunn is back. We're talking about it. Don't you worry. Get that water away from my laptop, Connor. That is scaring the shit out of me. But anyway, before we get into that, let's catch up on what everyone's been watching. Benny, you got a list?
Yeah, I watched... no, I don't. I have one thing.
Nice. That's a first for you in a while.
Sorry, my phone's dead. I'm struggling to remember my life at all right now. I watched the new Bill Nye film, Sometimes, Always, Never.
Oh, I thought you meant like Bill Nye as in like the science guy.
No.
I was like...
The Bill Nye, the acting guy.
Naive.
Gotcha.
Naive.
This is just a kind of quaint little humorous British drama, one of those things. I didn't really connect with it, unfortunately, but Bill Nye is just one of the most charming people in the world. I would watch him do anything. So
Something I haven't watched in years, which I'd love to revisit, is The Boat That Rocked.
never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It had a lot of hype on it, I feel, after like Love Actually, and everyone was kind of like, yeah, it's all right.
I remember working at the cinema on that one, and
Yeah.
it didn't get the best reaction, even though the cast was like
Next level.
absolutely stacked with British stars.
Yeah.
Can't win them all.
And the final thing on my list of two, and this will segue right into you as well, Connor, is I watched all of Netflix's and David Fincher's Love, Death Plus Robots.
So how quickly did you get through it?
Probably 3 sittings over a week.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got hooked on this. Like I binged it. I think I watched all but 2 episodes that night that it came out.
So it's an animated sci-fi anthology, so it's very easy to watch any episode, good or bad, and be like, well, I got to watch the next one. Because if it's really good, you're like really hyped on it. If it's bad, you're like,
I can't end on
like
that.
I can't. Yeah, I got to try again, right?
What did you find the range to be? Were there ones that you were like really soured on? Were there ones that you really enjoyed?
There
like,
were 2 or 3 that I thought were like really good, and a bunch that I thought were fine or interesting. Kind of could have used another draft. They didn't feel entirely fleshed out. Felt like the product of maybe a lot of animators working together without a strong creative voice or something, or maybe they didn't have time to flesh these out. I don't know. And there are a couple that I thought were just like pretty not good. But I did at least get like a few really, really good episodes out of it.
Yeah, it's cool how they have a different visual style for each one, and I really got to commend that.
To an extent, half of them kind of have the exact same Final Fantasy, the Spirits Within look.
Which like the first episode.
Very impressive from a rendering standpoint. The technology's not quite there just yet in terms of whenever someone's speaking, I feel like
it was that first episode I found very jarring.
And it gets better in some of them.
What is the first episode?
The one with
the Pokemon battle.
Yeah, the Pokemon battle one.
So that's not like when you go into the actual thing, that was like the 4th for me.
4th favorite?
No,
4th episode.
4th episode.
Oh, for real?
It was weird because like Netflix advertised that one as like the first episode, and I clicked into it, and then when I clicked out of it, that's actually the 5th in the anthology series.
How odd!
You might want to check. Like you might have missed the first 4 ones because I had to go back and start at the beginning.
That was my first one.
Yeah.
There might be 4 that you just haven't.
What was
watched.
the first episode for you? I mean, what was the actual first episode?
Oh God, I can't even remember. It might have been the one where he wakes up from that hypersleep.
Really? That was a lot later.
Maybe no. Maybe let me. All right, just
anyway.
Give me a second.
We'll do our own research.
Anyways, I was very I was probably pretty lenient at the time that I was watching this. I was actually stuck in Brisbane during like this horrendous thunderstorm. I was meant to be on a plane, so I was just like cramped up into this hotel room, and I was like, "This is the best thing I'm gonna get tonight." So I just I went ballistic on it.
Nice. I think there's a lot. I think you're right, Benny. There's a lot of really cool. I like every episode. There's something there to latch onto and get invested in. There's some really nasty, violent stuff in here that I appreciated. Right? I mean, I know I've only seen about 6 episodes. I think 5 or 6 episodes. But it just feels like it's maybe. I feel like how many are there in here? 18?
20 something?
20?
18.
I think it would have been better if they'd gone for 10. I think
Really?
that if they just pared it back, maybe invested a few more hours, a few more days into rewriting the script and really nutting out those stories, this would have been a 10 out of 10. And right now it's sitting at like a 7.5 or something.
Yeah, so you know what? I've seen about 3 different accounts now with completely different or slightly different orders.
Okay.
On ones, because on my account for Netflix, the first one is Beyond the Aquila Rift, where he wakes up from the hypersleep.
It's very interesting.
Then it goes on to 3 robots. Then it's Sunny's Edge, which is the one that you were talking about.
Maybe it's randomized, which I did because I was literally thinking watching it. I watched the first one, that Pokemon battle one. Then I watched the robots in the post-apocalyptic
Yes,
world.
that's how I got it as well.
And I was like, really, because I honestly wasn't very impressed by those 2 episodes, so there wasn't that much occupying my mind except why they chose that order to present them in.
Okay.
So I think the order they come in can really change your perception of it. So I think it'll be interesting.
Might be what's happening here, because I'm looking at it and
So I thought that Pokemon one was a really odd one to open with.
I liked it. I didn't like the beginning of it when the guy comes in and he looks like he's in an Xbox 360 cutscene from I don't know. I'm like, really? Is this the standard? And then the episode improved, but it was very. It took me a moment to get on board with it.
In a very general sense, I was much more happy with the traditional animation episodes, the 2D ones. That's just a personal preference, but
there was at least one where I thought the animation was kind of approaching that. What's it called? I can't even think. It's the illusion where it looks almost real.
Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley. Thank you.
I thought they all settled into that.
Yeah, big time.
The one that really got me was the
in a good way
Lucky,
or a bad way?
Lucky 13. In a good way. Like it was so well done.
Because Uncanny Valley is a bad thing.
I know, but I'm just trying to like explain that like there was moments when you're looking at it being like it looks so real that it's fake. Like I don't know.
Yeah, that episode was fucking good looking.
Yeah, like
I think
really,
my favorite
really
episode might have been Beyond the Aquila Rift or whatever you said. I thought that was just a really fun kind of creepy episode. And whenever someone's not speaking or it's not focusing too hard on someone's face, I'm like, this looks fucking real. It is insane.
when they speak that you're like
and it's it's so impressive in a lot of ways.
Did you notice a common theme throughout them?
Love, death, and robots.
There was something else that I happened to notice. In a couple of them, it came up.
Science fiction.
Okay,
Just put us out of our misery. What?
We'll wait until George is finished because I think of all people, George would pick it up.
Okay.
No, haven't picked up
All right.
anything. This week I watched something
Oh, I haven't finished, by the way.
and I forgot what it was.
Oh no.
Well, I'll finish my list and you can think about it then.
Happy Death Day 1. Boom.
Go.
What's going on here?
I thought he was still going.
No,
that's it.
because he was segueing into me. That's what he said.
Well, I'm done there.
Oh,
Happy
well,
Death
cool.
Day. Awesome.
I watched something that I don't think that I know that you've watched, but I don't think you mentioned it on the show, which was The Mummy.
The Mummy 1?
No, the new one,
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise one.
Ash had it on in the background and I was
okay,
perusing.
Yeah.
I was like,
Rewatched it?
Rewatched it. Yeah, I needed to download something off Netflix
you're
for the
crazy,
plane.
man.
And so I just
You're a
chucked it
funny
on.
bugger.
You're fucking crazy.
It was
bro.
all right. It was a movie that I had to watch on my phone on the plane, and I was basically in the airport with a delayed flight, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just download something to my phone." And I don't want to watch.
I
Something
watched
new.
on the bus the other day the first Captain America movie. Now that's cool. Saying you watched The Mummy, like why would you choose The Mummy?
because it was on Netflix. I didn't have like I did. Captain America's not on Netflix.
Just quickly, I was talking to someone about the podcast the other day. We were watching an episode actually, and I was saying how what I've watched this week are so random sometimes. Like I could never even pick it, and I couldn't think of a good enough example. And you've just given me the ultimate one. Yeah, you rewatched
There's no
the
better
Mummy
example than
remake.
Yeah, look,
with Tom Cruise.
Prince of Persia next week.
It was,
you know?
oh, well, let's calm down. I was literally, because I'd seen, I think you had sent like a Snapchat or an Instagram video of something like of you watching it.
I think it was Ash.
Or maybe it was Ash. Your two blends together.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
disgusting.
It's either cats or some other bullshit.
And it was up there on the front page when I was, sitting in the airport. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just rewatch that, see if it got any better. And I can't remember where we settled on it, but to be honest, it's not a bad film.
Yeah, no,
it's oddly entertaining.
I thought the first half was really good.
Yeah.
So I kind of gave the whole thing kind of a
pass.
a bit of a pass. Yeah, because I really enjoyed it.
The parts that we pointed out as being really bad are still really bad. Like,
Yeah,
there's
no
something
doubt.
really, really annoying about him going underground and swimming in like perfect crystal clear blue water when he's meant to be in like underground London. You're like, I just no.
Hollywood, bro. Need that Hollywood sheen.
Yeah, it's that. It's
Tom
like
doesn't get into murky waters,
a
man.
lot of shit that didn't make sense about it. Like there is just
Yeah.
there's a lot that kind of threw me off on that one.
And they've
So there's-
rebooted that franchise.
Yeah, look, I think they should have just stuck with it, really. I think that they could have done a lot of interesting things with that. And the way that it ended actually kind of made me excited to see where they were going with this overall universe.
Would
I
have
think
been
they should have just
interesting.
copped what they had done, and they should have brought Luke Evans back for Dracula.
Hell yeah.
They should have kept Tom Cruise as the Mummy. They should have just powered through, I think. It wasn't nearly as bad as the start that the Justice League had. So, I mean, fuck it, go for it. And the last thing was I watched Jimmy Carr's new stand-up, which seems to be like a best of. Well, I'm not
In terms of his material,
Yeah, there's a lot of material that he recycles.
that's a bummer.
That's most
Yeah.
comedians, though. Most comedians have
When
a
they-
set.
Not when they make a new
have
show.
a
Not when
bit.
they put on a new show.
Uh,
This is a new show that he's put out.
Well, oh yeah. Well, has he had a special before though?
Yeah, he's had quite a few.
Oh right. Well, that's kind of strange then.
Yeah, I think the title is like the best of or something like that, but it like there's a lot of jokes that I
That
hadn't
makes
heard.
sense.
That would explain.
I
That
would-
would. That
Well, I can't remember exactly
That
what it's
would
called.
pretty much align with expectations.
Let me-
I'm gonna call I confirmed.
yeah.
But it's incredibly strange to put out a new comedy special and then just have
Let's say we got a couple of videos sitting around, Jimmy.
comedy.
Let's
is not,
let's recycle this shit.
Comedy is not one of those things that like you just like. I don't understand. Like it's not one of those things where you just kind of like recycle the best jokes of. Like the
Well, you
whole-
will see, like, you'll see comedians in their specials on Netflix. If you go back to, like, a Letterman thing that they've done, you'll see they use the same material. It's not uncommon. But for someone like Jimmy Carr, who's, if you say he's got multiple specials under his belt, well...
Yeah, it's called the best of ultimate gold greatest hits.
I mean, how much more
Where's
greatest
the
hits
ambiguity
can
there?
you get than that? Ultimate gold.
But I mean, like,
What is this bullshit, Jimmy Carr?
it's still strange. Like, I just,
No,
I,
it's a strange concept,
Yeah.
for sure.
and I figured like the name was
What
just
the
a piss
damn
take.
hell, Jimmy? This ain't so... I didn't click on a greatest hits.
to get greatest hits.
I would love to see the musical analog of that, where you buy a new album from a band. It's like called Greatest Hits. Like, this is not a new
These are
song
on
on here.
shame. But again, like that makes sense. Like the music makes sense.
Yeah.
Comedy just like I've never seen that before. Maybe I just not looking hard enough.
Yeah. Oh, well, good stuff, gents. Some good selections. Let's get into the news.
I'm
And
taking over the news today because Ben, you've
Didn't have to make a big thing of it, but it's all right.
yeah. Well, I am.
Ben can't see anymore, people.
Blind.
Bird box, man.
What is it? What is it? I'm black.
I'm
It's
blind.
Anchorman 2.
Anchorman 2, yeah.
It's possibly one of the best parts of that entire franchise. It's just
Absolutely.
that one scene.
Oh, for sure. Lamp.
I'm blind.
I love
my
Lamp.
phone's not working for anyone who wants to actually know.
No one wants to know.
We're taking phone donations, people.
Please.
All right, so come on. This is the most exciting piece of news we've had in a very long time.
huge.
Disney has reinstated director James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Insane.
How fucking fantastic. Disney chairman Alan Horn reportedly met with Gunn several times since he was let go. They will wait until he's completed his work on Suicide Squad to recommence production on Guardians.
So how fucking good has James Gunn come out of this?
Like,
oh, bro, he
Gets
is
his job back and he gets another gig.
top tier. He's gone over to DC. He's going to be the hero at DC.
Yeah.
They're rebooting the Suicide Squad, and now he's coming straight back into the gig
Spoiler
that he's been known for. I found this. I think I was less with this news. For me, I was less like, yes, Gunn is back. This is amazing. I was more like, Disney, man, what the fuck have you done in this whole
Absolutely.
thing?
Yeah.
This is like...
To cheer this on would be to give Disney good press at this point, which is fucking
And
ridiculous.
It is bizarre from a PR point of view. Like, they must have been fucking...
Sweating bullets, bro.
Well, sweating, like, not even just sweating bullets. They must have, like, had the shittest time trying to get this film made because...
No one
then,
would take it.
Basically had to go to James Gunn. This is not, like, them fixing their mistake. This is them being in a serious fucking hole. And like someone had to get on their knees and like swallow their pride amongst other things and go to James Gunn and be like, will you come back and fix this movie? Because it doesn't make any sense for them to wait this long, like wait for the dust to settle on a shitty mistake that they made and then dredge it back up by saying,
well,
"Come on back."
word has it the choice was made quite a while ago to do this, and they were waiting for the dust to settle because they didn't want to seem like they were backing on their own thing. You know, they wanted to give time or whatever for the condition to become relevant and for everything to die down.
But I mean, read the room. Like, that was, out of everything, that was pretty unanimously kind of slated as a bad decision on Disney's part. Like,
so
who are they placating by?
So yeah, I think if they had said, from Disney's point of view, if they had gone very quick, let's say, when did this happen? August. This happened in about August last year. So let's say early September, they go, we've already gone into the conversations with James Gunn. Let's say all of that's happened and they've actually come to a deal that he will recommence. The longer they wait, the less likely it seems like a gut reaction decision, reversing it as well as making the decision. So it gives, from a PR perspective, it makes Disney look better to hold on to it for longer. I understand why they've done that. It makes a lot of sense. But I'm not saying it's a good... I think this whole thing has just been terribly handled from the get-go.
Definitely. Yeah. It's insane. It's so
and
crazy.
They had to go into salvage mode with this.
My initial reaction was just anger. Like, it's so weird that, you know, he's coming back to direct it, and I was just angry about all the mental energy that we all had to spend on this. How many podcast hours did we record about this whole situation?
To like self-perpetuate throughout like
5 weeks.
5 weeks of like, you know, someone says something like, then like fucking Dave Bautista was going on about how this wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then just like the constant disbelief that Disney had fallen so far into this like knee-jerk reaction style. And it was all like every element of it was so disingenuous. It was really, really disappointing on every front. Yeah.
I really can't wait to hear. Batista hasn't said anything yet, has he?
I don't think so. I know. I've been looking out for it.
He was the most vocal person. Yeah. You know, Gunn himself handled it also gracefully. His apology was so great. His response to losing the job was just really, you know, contrite and calm. And supposedly that's why Alan Horn kind of reversed it, because he was really happy with how he handled it, and was no doubt convinced that it was a bad knee-jerk reaction in the first place.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
The part that I'm getting out of this is really unfortunate is that it kind of solidifies my cynicism when it comes to decisions made by studios, that it has nothing to do with any kind of genuine want to do the right thing, but that it is purely based on, you know, placating, you know, a group of people or you know, not wanting to be wading into bad PR. And it just, it makes me sad to, or that my cynicism seems to be kind of confirmed in those cases. So.
I think more for me, it's, what's good about it, this whole thing, is that there is a redemption arc for James Gunn, who, when you actually read the tweets they're pretty fucking horrendous. Like, they're not funny. Talk about pedophilia, you know. And with all this stuff that happened with Kevin Hart, it's nice to hear that somebody can fuck up, make a mistake, apologize for it, and at the end of the day, still come out with a career and a good prospect.
Yeah, I almost hate to paint it like that, just because it's, you know, I don't feel like this is a redemption. Like, I don't think he has like... No, he had his redemption like 10 years ago.
The public... Well, not in Disney's eyes, and not in a lot of people who brought this to fruition.
Yeah,
I think
that was disingenuous.
Very disingenuous. Very disingenuous. But I think the general public's reaction, even initially, was, "Hey, he's apologized for it. He's apologizing for it again." And I think that's good. And I think a lot of the time these days, people get vilified and they can never get out of this hole. And it's nice to hear, hey, people can change. People can learn from their mistakes. And they can move forward.
So the whole point of us calling out bad behavior is hopefully so that they, you know, change. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. I was saying that we should hesitate to report on this because it's only going to be 2 weeks before they fire him again for some reason.
Have you guys seen James Gunn's PG porn? It's really funny. It's like he made a bunch of shorts that were porn,
Oh,
but without sex.
yeah.
So it was like full of all the innuendo, and I think Sasha Grey was in them.
I've seen this, yeah.
And he's like a mechanic and stuff. And,
And she's got the
like,
pizza, and she's like, I need the extra sausage or something.
Yeah. It's like, no, like, it's like PG porn for people who love porn for everything except for sex. It's a fun little series.
I love that.
That's good.
Maybe that's
All
what
right,
they'll fire
so-
him for next.
This is the beginning of the show notes, but it sounds like a disclaimer. Per the Hollywood Reporter, clashes between the Flash directors John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein and star Ezra Miller have WB potentially looking at a recast. So Miller has joined with comics legend Grant Morrison to pen his own script in hopes of keeping the job.
So Daly and Goldstein, the writers of Homecoming and the writer-directors of Game Night, took the helm of the Flash movie like January last year. That's a little movement there's been on this thing. And they were like the third people in the job.
Yep.
And supposedly why this has stalled so hard is they've been clashing with Ezra Miller, who's more interested in a much darker tone, which Warner Brothers right now after Aquaman is not too interested in. So they're obviously really kind of lighter comedic guys. And Ezra has, as it said, brought in Grant Morrison to write his own script for the movie. And WB's actually signed him on for it. Apparently the script could be delivered this week. And if they don't like it, presumably he's going to walk away from the project and they'll be looking at a new Flash.
Crazy.
Yeah. So things aren't going great for the Flash movie.
What from the guy who knows the most about the Flash here? Is there room for a darker tone with the Flash? Because I guess from my perspective, there probably are some really interesting character layers and whatnot in there. But from everything that I've seen so far that they've produced, the Flash has always been quite zippy, funny, crazy character.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the basic logline for the Flash is that his dad is in jail for the murder of his mother, which he was framed for under mysterious circumstances, and he has to kind of figure out how to sort that out. But no, traditionally the Flash is a much lighter character.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of ways, kind of the Spider-Man of the DC universe. So,
And that's how he was played in Justice League.
yeah, he was pretty goofy in that as well.
I think, to be honest, anyone that is pushing for a darker tale in an already dark DC universe is out of their fucking mind.
Yeah.
It begs the question: is it dark anymore? I mean, they definitely were under the Snyder, vision. It was going for a darker tone, but since Aquaman and now we've got Shazam on the way,
Yeah,
and
so we've
Wonder
had-
Woman
looking-
1984.
it's looking a lot more.
We've had one movie that's come out that doesn't have that dark tone. We have one that feels, like it will also follow that path, but is very much not connected to that main line of Justice League.
But given
whereas
how
this is-
reactionary Warner Brothers are and have proven themselves to be endlessly, obviously after Aquaman, by far their most successful film, by far, they are going to be looking to just go, fuck it, let's just do the Marvel thing. We're not going to try that anymore.
but I mean, like, does this universe have room for a darker telling? Like, what? I mean,
I think it does, and I think I think they can all be nebulous to each other. They don't have to relate that much. They can actually get away with a lot. They can get away with a lot with this. It doesn't have to match up like Marvel does. It's just whether they choose to go down that path or not. The Flash could be darker. Aquaman can be funnier. Superman can be more brooding. They all can work within different genres and they can be pushed. But whether they do that or not is a whole other question. And I don't think they will. I'm going off what you said, Benny. 1.3 billion in the bank after Aqua-fucking-Man. I mean, if you told me 24 months ago Aquaman would be top of the pile for the DCEU, I would have said, fuck off.
I was calling that a bomb.
I would have said,
entirely
fuck
up.
off, bro, walk on. And hey, here we are. So
Then you would have
what
hit him in the
fuck
back
do
of the
I
head
know?
and killed him
What
and gone to jail.
do I know?
And just on a more basic level, I would trust the writers of Homecoming more than Ezra Miller as a writer, just on the basis of I don't know
like
anything
how
from that
passionate
guy.
he is about it. And he gets a point from me for... He gets 2 points. One, because he seems like a pretty edgy, he seems like a different kind of guy. And two, the fact that he cares that much, he wants to take so much ownership, and getting Grant Morrison in. Come on, bro.
That's a pretty big
that's
swinging
cool.
dick move. Yeah.
I'll be
That's
honest,
cool, man.
Ezra Miller, from everything I don't know the guy, so what the fuck do I know? But from everything that I've seen, Ezra Miller looks like a fucking nightmare to work with. Just all his interviews and just the way he seems to have acted, like I can't imagine he'd be someone he'd be one of those guys that's so involved in his art, I say in quotation marks, that like you just.
What's art, Connor? Does it have to be a painting?
Yeah. No, but that's my point. Like, he's just one of those guys that would ask that kind of question, and then you'd be like, you can fuck off.
I've heard word that kind of indicates the same, yeah. And I'm not really a fan of him as Barry Allen at all. Anyway,
he hasn't had much to do though.
No, I know, but what he has, I haven't liked.
It's been crap.
Very
Other
much,
than that post-credit scene or whatever.
And just by and large, I don't like any of the DC EU's casting. Like the most common line is that Cavill is as expressive as a crumpet or a plank of wood. And I think he's just about the
crumpet. And Superman being compared to a crumpet.
Why a crumpet? Why is that?
It's so perfect.
As a crumpet.
It's so perfect. Everything that I've been missing in my life.
So horribly enough, I think he's actually maybe the best casting in the goddamn DCEU for me personally. So I would not have any issue at all if Davis and Goldstein just got to make rebooted essentially.
Do you think they'll do what they're doing with the Joker, which is just fuck it, you can both have your own project?
I think that's what everything is now.
No, that Joker's done. I don't think we've reported on it. The Leto Joker in the can.
Officially?
In the yes.
I thought
I'm like in the bag. In the bag means it's like it's sealed the deal.
And in the can means
what I'm trying to say. It's in the bin.
Look at me in the eye.
Thrown away. Cancelled.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So the Joker outside of continuity.
Did they
got the tick?
Give reasons for why the Leto one won't be happening?
Aquaman.
Do you need any?
Yeah.
I mean, well, granted, yeah, but
everyone in the world hates him. I think that'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, moving on. First poster for Once Upon in Hollywood teases Tarantino.
Once Upon Hollywood. Fuck yeah. Man, I miss you reading the news. I miss this shit.
I know. I've wasted so much of that time.
Hey there, kiddies. Welcome to Once Upon a Hollywood.
Once Upon a Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, so just quickly, someone actually texted me this poster last night, and they said, "Have you seen the poster for Once Upon a Hollywood?" I shit you not.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't you.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
You talking to other people about movies, Ben?
I'm sorry. I have another podcast.
Yeah. But what the fuck?
So, it's Tarantino's 9th film. It's got DiCaprio and Pitt. Bradley. Just sitting there on the front looking damn sexy.
Yeah, not too much to this poster, especially for a Tarantino poster. He usually has a bit more flair. The thing that struck me is that it doesn't even look too much like a period piece from what we see on the poster. I mean,
it's got a lot of sheen to it.
Yeah,
it looks a lot more polished than Tarantino would normally go for.
Yeah,
doesn't have that sort of grungy
grindhouse.
Yeah,
it's obviously very. It's bad Photoshop is what it is.
Yeah, it's got that sheen to it, doesn't it?
I don't know if you've stared at it for too long, but it is quite clearly bad Photoshop.
They're definitely on a green screen and they've been composited in.
Pitt looks like a celebrity lookalike.
Oh, he doesn't look like Brad Pitt, does he?
Yeah.
Did you see that IGN video where it's like a meme analysis, like Easter eggs, and it zooms in on the Hollywood, and it's like this film is probably set in Hollywood, and then it zooms in on Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's like, that looks seriously like a dad jacket. Is he a dad? Maybe. I haven't seen my dad in 12 years. It's fucking great.
I loved, and we'll get to this a little bit later, but I loved, there was a parody meme or something like that about all the videos that were going to come out of the Avengers Infinity War of Endgame trailer. Be like, the 20 things that you missed in, Endgame. And like, I've been noticing in all the videos, it's like an arrow and a fucking circle pointing to fucking nothing. I have such a strong hate. Do you know all those videos that come out?
They're all exactly the same.
12 things you missed with the new trailer, gotcha. It's just them pointing an arrow to nothing, to like fucking. Yeah, it's just
a screen cap to something in the background. Yeah,
it's
nothing in the background.
So
rather.
Fucking annoying. It's so clickbaity. I'm getting more and more annoyed with the very obvious tricks that people are using to get you to engage with their social media. I cannot stand it. Yeah. if I see that kind
Like,
of shit,
comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, we're OG. We're organic, baby.
I can't. Yeah, if I ever see us doing that,
Yeah.
I'm fucking.
Yeah,
I'm
get
losing
in,
it.
rip in.
We're not going to pretend to have any idea what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that. Where's my beer?
Yeah, not much to this, to be honest. It's just a poster that's come out. It's a bad poster at that. It seems a bit strange for Tarantino to be doing that, but
I'm keen as fuck for this movie.
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's open slate and two great performers. Sign me up.
what did you think about his last one?
I actually haven't seen it.
We were Hateful Eight, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yep.
Ooh, you hadn't last time we talked about it, I don't
Really?
think. Yeah, because I remember I was listening to an episode recently, and
You listen to
I
episodes now.
mentioned-
What the fuck?
no, this is the one I listened to.
Okay.
I mentioned
Nah, you listen to more, bro. Oh, no, I saw your history, bro.
I mentioned that I was something about the Hateful Eight, and you guys both hadn't seen it. I was like, "What? You hadn't
Oh,
seen
really?
one
Okay.
of the
It's
8 movies by
it's the
Tarantino?"
only Tarantino movie I haven't seen.
Yeah,
I think-
that's crazy to me.
It's
How'd you-
like
Jackie
that episode-
Brown.
That episode must have been like a year ago.
Yeah,
because I'm
definitely.
pretty sure I watched it when.
To the day. 19th of March.
Yeah,
Holy crap!
because I'm
the
pretty sure I
hour.
watched it either on the plane or something like that for your wedding.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear you watched that on a plane,
Yeah, that's
brother.
right.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
watched it on my laptop. On
That
a
doesn't
plane.
make me happier.
And Benny's like, oh, okay.
I watched it in 70mm film in a giant
yeah.
cinema. I'm sorry. I'm a
peasant.
I'm a
Sorry,
pure.
sorry,
I'm
sorry.
not.
Fuck you! What did you? Sorry, you knew I hadn't seen it.
And he got a program, you peasant.
You knew I hadn't seen it in the theater, obviously, and like, why
No.
why cut me down when you're like, oh, I can't believe you watched.
That's
You
so
knew
Not
I hadn't watched
insulting
it.
you. I'm saying that's a movie to be seen in 70mm, and they do reshow it all the time. How'd you like it?
I really dug it. Like, I'm a sucker for westerns, and I love that style.
I thought it was like a fucking 11 out of 10 first half. Once it devolved into just kind of a blood orgy, I wasn't so interested. But
Yeah, I mean the intrigue is
Sam Jackson's amazing in it.
for sure like the best part of it. In the end, you're just kind of waiting for all the characters to die type
Yeah,
thing.
no,
Like, it's
so
just,
not the intrigue, just the character interplay. So when it is the 8 of them in the cabin,
Yeah.
just hanging around, moving about, I'm like, this is so engaging. And then once other stuff started saying, when the flashback stuff, I'm not so into. But
sorry, I just realized I watched another film that I didn't talk about in the.
too late, save it for next week.
Yeah, that's the rule. That's
No,
the
fuck
rule.
you. I'm gonna go into it.
No, you do this every week.
Maverick.
Yeah, fuck you.
Every week.
I watched
Gonna-
Triple Frontier, which is the
Oh,
Netflix
boy.
Ben Affleck one.
Did you love it?
I almost put that on.
I kind of did.
Yeah, shocker.
But it is. Look,
You didn't need to bring that up. We all knew.
It's not. It's certainly not what I thought it was. It's not far off.
It's
but
got nothing on Lone Survivor.
Did you not like Lone Survivor?
No, I quite liked it.
Yeah, so fuck you then. But it kind of is a bit similar to Lone Survivor. Less war, like it's less of a war film. Ben, I think that you'd actually get a kick out of this. It's not just military porn. That's not what it is. What some can be like. I wouldn't go so far as to say Lone Survivor is just military porn, but there's a lot of military porn in it.
Definitely looks watchable.
This one is far more.
Oscar
I think-
Isaac is the guy that would make me watch that, his casting.
I mean, all of
Was
them
he good?
are so. Oh yeah, Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac
Yeah.
is.
Is he the standout?
It's hard to say he's a standout because
Okay.
all the entire cast is actually really
Okay.
good in this.
Some heavy hitters. That movie's been in development hell, or was in development hell for a couple of decades. Did you
Years.
guys hear about the original cast for that
It was,
movie?
no, it was not Denzel. Was it Denzel?
Tom Hanks, Will
Tom
Smith,
Hanks.
and Johnny Depp.
That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because we
Lone
reported
Survivor on Netflix.
we reported on all the different people that were going to be in it. When it first kind of came out for the trailer, I
Right.
remember like going through that development hell and just saying how weird it was. But yeah, look, I at the risk of sending you towards a war film, which it's really not, I think it'd be cool for you to check it out because it's a very interesting. Yeah, I think it's worth checking out.
Yeah. I'll think about it.
That was Quentin Tarantino's.
Yeah, sorry, I
Once,
just
once upon a
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood once.
damn. All right, so Black Widow news. So a little bit of Marvel news coming up. You just wanted to watch me say this name. That's the only reason that you gave me the news.
I didn't write this. My phone
I'll help
said.
you. Florence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Thanks, mate. You twat. Florence Pugh to join.
Florence Oh yeah, from Fighting with My Family.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Florence Pugh to join Scarlett Johansson in Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that Black Widow had her own movie announced. How fucking out of the loop am I?
Can we insert the clip right now of us talking about this story when it broke?
I have a feeling that this might.
I'm a little
one of the ones
concerned about Black Widow.
Do we need a female hero in the MCU?
Wait,
Yeah.
whoa.
Lone
Why am I
Survivor
being- why
is
am I
the
being
best. Can they make
slated
it like
as-
Lone Survivor?
Why am I being slated? What the hell's going on?
I don't
we
know.
know George is the one that hates women, not me.
I love women.
That's true.
Love women.
Yeah,
Ashley.
good save. Good
Love
save.
you, Ashley.
I'm pretty sure that's the second time you've made that
You said it
mistake.
last week exactly the same way.
Because I made the same
catchphrase.
You've got to get some new material, boys.
Uh-oh.
This seems to be stacking up nicely. I'm pumped for this. Listen, let's go. Let's do something. You know what I'd love to see? It's a bit more of a SWAT team kind of Mission Impossible style Marvel film.
Yeah, this is really the first project I feel they've looked at putting to the big screen that has really the potential to be much smaller scale. You could say that maybe about the Captain America stuff, but they turned that into an Avengers franchise. I would really love to see them have enough confidence to go real just spy thriller.
That would be so cool with some really inventive action sets, but keep it low key.
You're right. This is a really interesting one because particularly with the angle or the kind of tempo that the Marvel universe has gone towards, which is, I mean, the last movie that we had, which was Captain Marvel, featured someone that was just so wildly powerful that it even kind of got to the point where people were saying she was too powerful. Like, they're going to have to basically go from spaceships and intergalactic, warlords and all that kind of stuff. They're going to have to bring it right down to something that Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow can be the center of. And I mean, it's absurd enough that Black Widow is in all amongst the Avengers and all this kind of craziness. As even when she's got like 5 to 10 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, she doesn't have a superpower. Like, she's an amazing assassin, but she's not like.
Yeah,
she doesn't have a special power. In inverted
one of the
commas.
big jokes of the new trailer is like, have you seen all these memes about? I know how we'll stop Thanos.
Yeah,
a pistol.
Yeah.
Well done, Black Widow. No, I just like.
I'm
I'm fascinated by how they're gonna try and like change the pace of the whole kind of movie universe to suit a movie like this.
And she is bloody put in her time. She's earned a movie.
Oh, by far,
a good movie. So I really hope it is one because she's been around since Iron Man 2.
And Black Widow is one of those movies that's the fans have been crying out for ages.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when they announced Phase 2 and people were like, the fuck aren't we making a Black Widow film?
Yeah.
So it's good that they finally got up to it.
Been in the pipeline for a while.
No kidding. All right, moving on. We've got some Warner Bros. Movies. More movies. Warner Bros. News. Warner Bros. Chief Kevin Tsujihara to exit after 6 years. I don't know.
Amid sexual impropriety scandal.
Oh, well, yeah, add that to the bloody notes.
This is such an interesting story. I don't know if you guys have heard about this at all.
No, I put this one in, so I've definitely heard of this.
Okay, why
seriously,
don't you explain it?
I didn't know if you'd actually read it. So yeah,
you have no idea.
I do. I've had a good read.
After a seemingly rotating door program of CEO heads for Warner Brothers, it seemed like they finally found someone who was working out with this guy because Aquaman was under his eye, which would have been pretty.
It was fucking lucky.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Justice League was as well, but this was the one that really kind of fell entirely under his reign, I feel. And then this stuff happens with Brett Ratner and
yes, that actress.
And this actress who apparently was sleeping with him and some other high ups in Hollywood for roles.
James Packer as well, or something.
James Packer's involved in this, which is so interesting. It's like,
and she was messaging him like they were having, they're doing their thing in a hotel, and then weeks later she'd be messaging him like, what's going on? Where's that role? And he's like,
I didn't sleep with you in a motel for this, and like it's this is a married guy.
Yeah. And he's like, "Don't worry,
well-known
I'm
dude.
gonna
Yeah,
get it sorted out."
It's like one of those thrillers that ends with someone being killed. Very interesting story, and all of the text messages leaked from his end.
Yes.
I think so. This whole story is out there,
and she got no starring roles, just some solid roles in Ocean's 8 and something else, and
a couple of minor roles.
Yeah. Now this is whole completely devolved. He put out a statement last week to Warner Brothers to say, "Hey, I'm sorry," but obviously he has to step down.
This is the second time I'm saying this in 2 weeks, but about someone else. This woman, I'm not surprised she wasn't getting any roles. I think she must be terrible. She has a music video of this song. It's so hilariously bad. Yeah, like if you thought that Brie Larson one was like bad, no, at least that had some professional level to it.
Yeah.
This is like she made it in a basement with some dude who was working freelance.
Yeah.
It is. I recommend reading about this whole story and checking that out.
Yeah, but
have you read these texts? Or I'm just going through them now. This
Yes,
is
I
fucking
read a
Crazy.
giant thing on it. Yeah,
crazy, man.
it's so funny.
So I guess there's a
Things are
pretty
finally looking
systemic
good.
problem in Hollywood going on right now.
Yeah, no shit.
And there's a way to get to the top, and some people are getting involved in that not by their own accord and not something they want to get involved with whatsoever. And some people are leveraging it and climbing, and people at the top are taking advantage of it and manipulating people, and other people are doing the right thing. So there's a lot of different stuff going on out there.
Well, this is mostly men taking advantage because she didn't get shit out of it.
No.
And she didn't deserve it.
No, definitely not.
But like it wasn't working out for her whatsoever,
No.
obviously.
And those roles that she got is like,
Chump
she's
change,
not,
yeah.
chump change, exactly. So there's something really systemic going on in Hollywood, and
Yeah, that place needs some work.
needs some.
So just as things were looking okay for WB, this happens. So I don't know who they're going to get in now, but
Yeah, we'll see.
onwards and upwards, I guess.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have started reading those texts. I'm like, I just want
You'll
to
be
fuck
it.
this off
Yeah.
and read all this.
Yeah, I'll be
Like,
back
it's
with you
so
later.
fucking weird.
Yeah, it's very funny.
All right, so our final story is filming has begun on Denis Villeneuve's Dune. So Hans Zimmer is to score.
November 2020, baby.
Fuck, I cannot describe
About 18
how
months.
excited I am for this film.
Yeah, man. I'm
I'm just-
so pumped.
Like Villeneuve, just on his whatever project he decided to do next, I was on board, 100%. I don't think I've watched one of his films that I haven't liked. And coming off the back of 2049, which, I mean, I really really enjoyed, just as a visual masterpiece. I just the idea of him taking on this kind of property is just. I seriously can't explain. I know I've gushed about this before on the podcast, but I'm just so excited.
Yeah. I love that Zimmer's coming back because he collaborated with Villeneuve on 2049 with somebody else, one of Hans Zimmer's proteges. The name's escaping me right now, but it's really cool to see them working with each other again because he has the sonic palette to make something like Dune really work, I think.
Definitely.
Big operatic kind of like. I remember watching.
Now we need to make a sound for the giant wormy.
I remember being in the theater the first time I watched 2049 and just having shit shake around me for some of those scenes. I was like, "Fuck yes!" Like it's such a. That was one of those movies that I could not recommend enough. That you see in the cinema. And then if you watch it outside of the cinema, have a good sound system. Like it's just such a.
Why are you looking at George?
I harp about this all the time, but genuinely, George, you've got a nice TV,
It's all right.
but
It's the low end Hisense, man.
yeah, I mean, but
It's crazy. It's crazy. I tell you what, Hisense have really turned their shit around, man.
But I mean,
Crazy.
realistically, visually,
one. This is the one they turned it around.
visually, it's a nice TV. It's a smart TV. Like that's a good TV. But it is kind of, it surprises me so much how much difference having a good sound system makes to the experience of watching a film.
Engages you a lot more.
Oh my God. Like, just
I was
going
going to
to
get one over Christmas, and I can't remember. I think I got a pair of Yeezys instead.
Ew.
Worth it.
Yeah,
Fucking worth
totally, man. Totally.
I'm not getting into that at all.
But what's that time?
It's trailer time.
You're not allowed to ask that question.
God. That scared me, man. I'm never asking that question again. I think that's the first time I've asked it.
Yeah.
Possibly. And you got
I did, because I don't have my phone, so I don't know when to ask.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Anyways,
I'm covering for you.
we have Avengers Endgame, which, as we said before, debuted like a couple hours after our episode went up.
So we're a little late to the party.
Which was obviously us. Like, it just happens every single time.
Yeah.
We were all. I just remember being on the
Tuesdays
the
will do
chain
that to you, man.
and just being like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
So, look, I don't know about you guys. I felt a little bit like George. I said this in our text messages. I felt like a little bit like George watching the Force Awakens trailer for the first time. Like this shit hit me like deep in my soul.
Yeah, I thought what I'm really loving with this is I feel like with Infinity War, I had a pretty good grasp on maybe a number of set pieces, few locations. You knew the giant Wakanda battle was going to happen. You know, you kind of had a little bit of a blueprint of what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And Endgame, I legit have no fucking idea what was going to happen.
Nah.
They've done such a good job. They've shown such restraint. I'd say 70% of this is old footage from Iron Man, Thor
least
1.
half, yeah.
I mean, this is really great stuff, and I applaud the Russo brothers or whoever's putting these trailers together. Fucking good job, because you're showing how it's supposed to be done. You don't need to show everything in the trailer.
They don't need to show everything in the trailer.
They don't.
They're in a position where they can do
They
this.
have, and they've built up enough equity to do that.
Yeah.
But I still think the principle applies across other films, and I think everyone can take a lesson from this. Maybe
Yeah.
not to this degree,
yes.
of course.
Yeah.
This one is a very unique scenario, but take a little bit of that, leave a little bit
Yeah.
to the imagination.
We'll talk
Definitely.
about this a little bit later with one of the at least one of the trailers that we watched this week, which I thought did an absolutely appalling job in kind of conveying key story points without kind of giving away all of it.
Are we talking about Hellboy again?
Yeah. But yeah, I absolutely love that they haven't delved into any of the mechanics of how they're going to try and defeat Thanos. You know, they
Is Thanos even the bad guy?
Well, I mean, he has not had one line or one cameo in any in. Did he have a cameo in the last trailer or the
There's a
teaser
bit
trailer?
where there's a bit
shows
where
his
he's got his
hands.
arm and he's walking through the cornfield.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He just had an Empire cover this week as well.
He did,
really
yeah.
cool cover, which didn't reveal anything. Marvel has said that they're only showing stuff from the first 20 minutes of the film, more or less. And I've heard from Mr. Sunday Movies, a favorite YouTuber of mine, who says he has a very good source on this, that the Russo brothers have only released 8 minutes of footage from the film to the trailer company.
Oh,
That's
so that's all they have to work through, and apparently they've used pretty much all of that.
wow.
So that's really cool and really exciting.
I think that's so. I'm so happy with them. Like, I mean, I think more than just like as a kind of industry standard to show how you should do trailers. This shows like unbelievable restraint.
they're like the
on their
anti
behalf.
J.J. Abrams,
Yeah.
who raises expectations way too high and teases things,
Yes.
and just makes everyone disappointed.
Yeah.
Whereas they just stay silent about all of this shit and be like, there's a couple of things.
Just let the story do its own work.
They can, I bet that the marketing people at Marvel are absolutely. I mean, I don't know who would push for what, but it's every chance that they're just fucking furious. They're like, we could get so many bums in seats if you started just like pumping out more footage and like let's just like spam everyone. I mean, we're a month out and we're just getting the full trailer. All right, so there's a couple of things that I wanted to and I jotted down some notes that we can go through. One of them is can we all agree, and it's pretty much put out in the trailer, Clint Barton's family definitely gets ghosted.
Oh yeah.
And this is something we actually said at the beginning or right after Infinity War last year. I think we go through the predictions. I was convinced. I'm like, this is going to be him. His family's going to be ghosted, and he's going to go rogue with this shit.
So we knew he was coming back as Ronin.
Yeah.
Something's got to
And
change.
had a
him.
mohawk, yeah. So we see the shot of his family in the trailer there, him with his daughter. I would love it if they just pull the rug out somehow. Like, I don't know, they don't get dusted, but like a plane whose pilot got dusted comes down and takes him out. Something unexpected, because everyone's expecting this to happen. It would be cool if they didn't go in that direction somehow.
To be honest, I think it will still be enough of an emotional kick.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, especially if they show it.
You kidding?
Fuck me.
He could be driving and something similar could happen. Maybe somebody disappears and it swerves.
There was something so kind of wholesome in Civil War when you found out that he had this family with these kids. You're just like, oh, Clint, God damn it.
Yes.
You're lovely.
So cute.
Yeah, that's going to be brutal. And they could, I actually thought they were going to open up on it, but they'll probably subvert expectations in an interesting way.
Yeah, I mean, what will we write about with Infinity War?
I've got a quick question for you guys, open to the table. They obviously do this kind of effect for all the old footage that isn't out of, Endgame, which is, it's all in black and white, apart from the red.
Yeah, I'm mystified by that. I'm absolutely mystified by that. I mean, like, it's probably something really obvious, and I'm just a fucking idiot that I don't get it, but I can't figure it out, man. I can't. Can you educate me, please? It's so obvious, and I'm like completely...
No, I'm sorry. So we agreed to let you just talk on that, because you mentioned it when we were watching the trailer and just let you kind of see how far you'd go.
I was just going to bring it up and then just never mention it again.
I didn't give a second thought to it, honestly, when I first saw it.
No, there's something that...
I was trying to think if that, like...
The only thing I saw is the Quantum Realm suit with the red, and it's the same red. I wonder if that's the Quantum Realm red, or there's something to do with the stone. What's the red
Avengers
stone?
has always been red.
Reality, the ether.
Ether, yeah. Which is the reality stone, I believe.
So what happens?
I mean, look at the we've got a poster right here for the Avengers. It's all red.
From Dark World.
I just assumed it was...
It's the one...
What did he use? What does Thanos do?
He turns guns into bubbles.
Remember
yeah. I know the exact one.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. To be honest, I just think it's like the Avengers is red.
That my thinking was Marvel is red. That's their color. That's literally all
really?
I gave it. Yeah. But it'd be very interesting to find out if there's more to it.
I hope there is.
So one of the other things, all right, so there's two things that have come up on the internet.
I'm glad you guys didn't know, because I was like, fuck, man, I must be that dumb. That dumb.
No, not at all.
Two things that have come up on the internet as kind of like, I guess, funny little memes. One is, I was going to say Scarlet Witch, but it's not. It's Scarlett Johansson playing Black Widow. Black Widow with her little gun. And the big joke is like, oh, that's how we'll get Thanos, you little pistol. Kind of just, highlighting how wildly outmatched everyone is.
Tony, just give her a suit.
Come on, man.
Give them all suits.
Yeah, come on.
Stop being such a dick.
You have 100.
Fuck.
That, and the other thing is Clint Barton's
haircut.
Snappy new dude. He's a man on the edge.
Yeah.
Looks like Sonic the Hedgehog, man.
Yeah, I really hope there's an acknowledgement in this movie of just why everyone's changed their looks. Like, obviously some just happens over time, but I really want to see like Clint and Steve at the salon, just like him getting a nice good shave.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure when you initially, I think it was the first trailer, Connor, where you said, I think this is set years after Infinity War, and my gut I didn't see that, but now these more trailers have come, and we've got the different hairdos, the different styles. I think you're right, man. I think it could be 3 years later. I think we could actually see maybe the immediate after effect of the snap, and then something there, and then we've got a bit of time passage, and then I'm very intrigued about how they handle this.
Just quickly, so Black Widow's primary look for the trailer is her natural red hair with just a little blonde at the end, so it's grown out. I'm not an expert. I don't know how long that would take. I imagine it would be within a year or so. So I think there will be the initial aftermath, and then it'll jump ahead a bit, but I don't think it'll be years.
And then do you think...
I think it would be. I mean, to grow like to shoulder length.
Yeah, that'd be 2 years.
That's at least 2 years, if not 3.
You said 3, so...
And then we can get the story where we find out what happened in that 3 years.
Sorry, should we...
Oh. Kevin Feige.
Is there any disagreement about when this is taking place? I felt a steak dinner coming on.
No.
I can't. There's no rhyme or reason behind.
We're essentially agreeing.
All right, damn it.
I said it because I think it'll definitely take place directly after, and then there'll be a little bit of a jump.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
damn it.
and
so
then
I think
there's going to be time travel as well after that. based on the set photos we've
I
seen.
am just like,
But we're getting none of that from the trailer, which is
my
awesome.
God, I just, my mind goes to so many places. Like, what if we see like alternative realities, alternative futures, alternative
Old
pasts?
characters that are dead.
Oh man,
yeah.
like where can this go?
Yeah.
Russo's, well done. Good trailer. Good trailer.
So there's also new outfits that you see at the end of the trailer.
Dust quantum.
Yeah, are we assuming that those are the quantum
Realm
or
Seems like,
suits.
they look a lot like the Ant-Man outfit.
Yeah.
With different colors.
Yes.
I
Looks fresh. Looks like an Apple Avengers suit.
There's a lot of people that are very unhappy with those suits.
Really?
I mean, it's always going to be divisive.
I like it, man.
I
think
hope
I
hope it's not a big part of the movie.
Yeah.
'Cause
I think it will be.
I like them all having their own different costumes.
I don't think it will be. I think there'll be a good portion towards the quantum realm, but I don't think they're going to be doing their final battle in those suits.
No, I'd be very disappointed if they were. And to be honest, there's something about the suits that just seemed a little bit off as they were walking along. Like, I'm not sure what it is. You know what? It very well could be I would not be surprised because the suits just seemed a little bit under budget to me.
What?
I don't know. They didn't quite seem right. I would not be surprised if this was like something that was shot really quickly just for the trailer as like another gotcha little moment. Like I can just see the Russo brothers doing that.
Well,
like,
everyone's saying that Tony Stark's not in the hangar. You know, in the final bit, they're saying they've comped him in, and he's not actually going to be there. So,
possibly, yeah.
You know, very very interesting. And another
That'd be
interesting
bizarre.
thing. Another interesting thing that I saw when we watched the trailer again in that room over there is when and somebody pointed this out on Facebook, is when Barton and Black Widow are in that ship and you see them flying over the city and then it goes inside, people have highlighted above that it's the same mechanisms that are in the Guardians ship and the one that's Tony Stark's in. So that adds a whole other layer to it. Don't know if it's true, but they're cross-matching things. They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff in this.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the Russo brothers were one step ahead.
Four steps.
Yeah.
Just a few.
Two last things. One is an early criticism of the MCU was that there was no recognizable theme. I think we've solved that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that ending with the Avengers coming up is just huge. Like, you just like, okay, this is the Avengers theme. They've like tweaked it throughout the trailer, but when it comes back to that original theme, it's really powerful.
Such a killer piece, man. And I think they've only improved on it.
Yep.
I think they've made it more brassy and given that Lord of the Rings like epicness.
Silvestri's work in Infinity War was among his best. Like, that score was
spectacular.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So great
Nailed
to
it.
hear out of someone who's been around for so long.
Completely
And
nailed it.
finally, there's a lot of hype around that last clip with Captain Marvel and Thor. A lot of people really love that clip. I wasn't sold on it. I didn't quite understand why he said I like her, because she didn't
flinch.
Is that the reason? It
I
seemed very
think-
weak.
I think, as long as you're predisposed to the information that they're both like two of the strongest MCU characters, without that knowledge, that scene doesn't really work. I
mean,
think with
even-
that knowledge, you go, oh yeah, wow, fuck.
Yeah.
Thor versus Captain Marvel. I wonder who would win in that matchup.
I think that'd be really cool. Like I kind of gave it the pass because of that knowledge, but at the same time, I was like, I would have accepted something a little bit more quippy or words, or I don't know.
I like the subtlety of it, and she just kind of gives him a little like a smile, and it's like barely a smile, you know.
And Thor still looks like shit. He's going to be having a bad time in this movie because he fucked up.
Oh yeah.
So supposedly, did you guys see this as well? That this is his last MCU film.
I didn't say that, no.
Yeah, I saw that, but I take that with a grain of salt. One of these.
Everyone has their price. How many times has everyone said they're going to leave?
Exactly.
Fucking Robert Downey
Cool,
Jr.
so that's completely
Jesus.
unfounded. What was the other thing about this as well that was really... I just can't believe in almost over a month, just over a month, we will have seen the whole Infinity Saga, and that's what Kevin Feige's calling it.
How
He's calling
depressing.
episodes 1 to 21, 1 to 22, all those movies, the Infinity Saga.
So
that's
phase
fucking
1
cool.
to 3, the Infinity Saga. There's something very cool about just that statement.
What do you do after the
And
Infinity Saga?
I feel like that's going to be mine. Like, I
It's
don't...
just gonna be us in a field.
Yeah.
It's Thanos style, just like looking over our good work.
Would you guys? I would not be surprised if I have the same feeling for these films as I do for the original Star Wars trilogy, where everything after that just doesn't seem quite as good. You know what I mean? Like that phase 1 to 3, that was mine. You know, when phase 7 comes around, I might be a bit more jaded and stuff and be like, not like episodes 1 to 3.
I'm already there.
Yeah.
My dark secret. Phase 1 to 2 is my jam. And everything then since then has
You're
been
already
a
there.
little, yeah. I'm sorry.
For real.
What was Civil War?
Civil War? Infinity War?
No. So there have been exceptional standouts, but when it comes to Ragnarok, Guardians 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, I'm like, these are all just kind of more Marvel movies. Like none of them kind of give me the... Anyway, we don't need to get into my personal demons.
But you get enough, like, not just great, incredible stuff that it keeps that MCU buoyant.
I kind of get your point, though. When I go back and I watch Ultron, like, there's something about that movie that I just really enjoy. And it not only is it just a good movie, but it's also like there's nostalgia attached to that as well. Particularly like the early Iron Man films and that kind of stuff, like things that we would have watched over 10 years ago now.
Yeah, I wish the whole saga could be one kind of united sum for me, but the latter ones, there's definitely a little bit of drop off. And I say that like, you know, lightly. Like I still like all of these movies, but it's not quite the same for me.
I think, yeah. I mean, you go back and watch Iron Man 1 and Thor, and you're like, wow, they've actually come a long way.
Yeah, to illustrate that, I like a lot of those older movies more than the new ones, even though I think they are worse in a lot of ways.
But is that nostalgia and familiarity?
Just how I was younger, I had seen less. I was just more into these things as they were happening.
No
so
doubt.
now it's nostalgia.
And that's why I feel that phase 1 to 3 will be that what I hold
in 20 years when we look back at this.
Because of that. But I still like phase 3.
That's why this needs to be good. Like all I want. I don't care if they fuck up phase 4. They can. In fact, I hope that they go for the fucking ropes when they go phase 4. I hope they just they do something really wacky and experiment because they have the 1 to 3 set in stone, nice, good. Yep. Doesn't matter what you do, you'll never be able to touch that type shit. Like I hope they just take some risks from there on in. Like you would be sweating fucking bullets if you're Feige right now. Like seriously, you are one movie away from completing like one of the greatest franchises to grace cinema ever, and you're just like, if I fuck this up, I might be drawn and quartered.
I hope people like this.
Basically. All right, so that's our Avengers Endgame review. So next we've got
no, that's it. That's the last recording we're doing in that film.
The Alien 40th anniversary shorts.
You know what stood out about this to me was I wish they had gone down more of the Love, Death, Robots vibe, where each one had maybe its own distinct style.
That'd be
the fact that they were all the same, I was a little bit disappointed by that.
But
nonetheless,
it's coming
it does
from
look cool.
Distinct property.
Yeah, but I still think there's a bit of bandwidth to, experiment and...
Do you think they could have done that without making any animated?
No. What?
Like, do you think they could have done that with live action shorts?
No.
Different styles? No. So you would like to see some animated stuff?
Yeah, animated. Yeah, I like
awesome.
animated.
Yeah.
I think actually Alien, maybe that's the way they should have gone down in the first place.
Yeah.
With other than all these sequels, but I don't know. But I thought that just a little bit of variety would have made me a little more amped on this, but it does look cool. It does have a nice look to it, and they seem to have captured the vibe of Alien.
I won't be watching this. I can just tell you right now. Like it's just...
Yeah, I probably won't watch it either.
If they're released on YouTube,
I'll
which I assume they will be, I will definitely have a go because I love anthology things, and I think horror in particular works amazingly well in short form. And
same with sci-fi.
Yeah, and I think Alien has really been missing something since Alien 40 years ago, and I will give anything a go to try and recapture that.
Yeah,
like I have such mixed feelings on Covenant, so
I like Covenant.
Yeah, I like a lot of elements of it. So I would like to watch just a few. Like if that movie had all its great sequences or ideas taken and split apart into just unrelated shorts.
Yeah,
I'd probably love each of them.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something there in terms of like things like horror, which can, when you watch a horror film, it can feel diluted. Like you get moments of really intense scare and that, and then like it's just kind of like fluff in between that kind of takes it out of it.
And a feature-length film has to have a resolution, which is usually the weakness of a horror movie, whereas a short film can have a boom and end.
And that's what we found. That's what I found with Love, Death, Robots. That's why I really kind of, as a whole anthology series, really dug it because they could just explore weird. Like there's that short. I'm not sure if you're there yet, George, about the yogurt.
For the what? Oh, the yogurt.
Yogurt.
I was like, did I mishear that?
I love.
You said it like an English person says it. Yogurt.
Well, all right. So this.
What's yogurt?
I had the conversation recently about the way that Australians and Canadians and
Americans
yogurt and British people say yogurt. Or I say yogurt. Or yogurt. So I've been saying yogurt the last couple of days because I think it's a funny word.
Yeah. And you've just combined the two yogurt.
Yogurt.
Now you're offending everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Unsubscribe.
I love the fact that they just took this really bizarre, weird concept, ran with it for 5 minutes, and then were like, yeah, whatever. We don't need a resolution. We don't need to like explore this any further. It's just there. It's done, whatever. So I think that the short really kind of plays well into that sci-fi horror space. So I like the concept. I didn't like the look of the execution from the trailers. They just looked real low budget and just kind of...
I think that's scene from Alien Isolation in some ways as well.
From what I understood, they did just open it to the public and say, send us your best work. Yeah. And they selected 6.
It's an interesting concept.
They all looked very similar. Are they from different...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people just made their own
really?
Shit. Yeah.
That was my impression.
Which I think is really cool.
I thought there was too much continuity between them that made me disinterested. But the fact that you're telling me that different people did them and on their own, with their own art style, I didn't pick up on that personally, but
it's coming from a very distinct property, which means they're all going to feel very similar.
But you could go a little more caricatured, you could go a little more realistic, you could go, it can be manipulated a little bit.
Also, you just mentioned Alien Isolation. Quickly, that game, which was awesome.
Yeah, I only heard good things.
Really, really cool. Has actually been released as an animated series.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, they've just taken the assets from that game and turned it into like just a narrative.
Worthwhile watching?
Shorts, yeah. I mean...
browse through it.
Like, sure. I didn't play the game. I watched it as a Let's Play thing, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
I watched about 25 minutes of it.
Yeah, so like...
And there's animals like coming around. You're like, in this cupboard.
Yeah,
and then it's like
potato. It's the same thing, really. Like it's a really interesting move on their part, capitalizing on this huge kind of Let's Play culture that we live in, and just turning a game into something that's meant to be watched. It's a cool move.
Cool. So our third trailer for this week is Body at Brighton Rock. I was very surprised to hear from I think you, Ben, that this is at Southwest. This trailer,
me, sorry.
That was you. Sorry. This trailer looks.
I wasn't trying to take credit. I just didn't want to interrupt.
This trailer looks horrendous. I mean, I was watching this.
Really?
I could not understand why we were even.
I think it looks very
wasting
low
our time.
budget, but I
like the look of it.
Yeah, I'd be very willing to judge the movie on its own merits.
What gave you the impression of horrendous?
I don't like the. Well, all right.
Is it because of the handycam style?
No. I'll clarify. I think that the trailer is horrendous. I don't think it's cut well. I think it shows way too much of the story. To be honest, I wasn't.
The resolution was terrible, but that might have been George's internet.
The sound was crap.
Yeah. No, I just genuinely, I didn't like this trailer. I thought that it was really poorly put together. It was from concept to execution.
I disagree. I felt like it was. I like the premise. I thought that we had an interesting scenario where she comes across the body and she's freaking the fuck out and where do we go from here? I don't think it's the most revolutionary cinema we've ever seen, but it's a small little indie flick. There could be some good stuff in here.
Yeah, based on nothing in the trailer and not judging it by its own merits. So essentially agreeing with neither of you and both of you. I will watch anything that comes out of South by Southwest because they have the most interesting programming of any festival. I find it's always really cool genre stuff. So yeah, I'll definitely give it a go. But
yeah, look, I mean, maybe it's good, but just from what I saw, none of it. Yeah,
fair call.
All right, so we've got the next trailer, which was Framing John DeLorean. This looks like a really kind of bizarre movie / documentary /
so confused.
There's no kind of solid continuity about what this film is.
I can't even remember the name of my favorite film from last year. Animal.
I was thinking animal, not Animal
American
Kingdom.
Animals.
American Animals.
American Animals.
Literally, what I was thinking.
So what I thought was really cool about that film is how they took the documentary style and kind of flipped it on its head. And it's giving documentary filmmakers a kick up the arse, I feel, because we're getting some stuff like this. And I don't think it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread, but I am intrigued to watch this purely from that editing, mishmash, melting pot style.
I felt that, yeah, I don't know. I think that with things like The Big Short and American Animals, things that are bringing, you've used a word before, Ben, about the style of filmmaking for The Big Short. Is it infotainment or?
Sure.
I don't know. Anyways, is it like a style, like, they're kind of bringing real life events and like kind of talking to camera and breaking up the standard style of a film. Both those films that I just mentioned did it really well. This one looks like a fucking clusterfuck.
Well, this looks like the inverse of that.
But
this looks like the inverse of that, in that those are, drama films with a documentary element, and this looks like a documentary with, drama elements thrown in. It's so hard to tell how this is going to play out, but it looked like a very standard kind of documentary, except for the Alec Baldwin stuff that was thrown in there. Yeah.
I'm more interested to see this from just the editing and the actual, like, the filmmaking.
Yeah.
I'm not that, like, John Delorean sounds like an interesting tale. There'll be some interesting stuff in there.
Great eyebrows.
Really, those eyebrows, man. But the editing and the filmmaking, that's why I'm intrigued by this.
yeah.
And DeLorean's rule as well, let's be honest. How much would you like a DeLorean?
No.
Like, if you went outside and you had a DeLorean, I'd be so jammed.
I'd go with
Jammed?
the DeLorean.
I'd be so jammed,
I'd be so jammed, man.
Wow. What the words you were using today
know.
are just in the bag,
Flippity
man.
schnibbit, diddlits.
And if I'm saying that, you're in
giggity.
trouble.
Go goose.
This one is
A Connor
this next one-
entry?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
You guys put a body of Brighton Rock, so.
Yeah, South by Southwest.
The Professor and the Madman, which is a
Oh,
Mel Gibson and Sean Penn film.
You'd have
Is
to
there a less marketable movie than a film starring Mel Gibson and Sean Penn?
So this is my thing. Like, I just feel like one of the main, well, obviously one of the main themes of this film is redemption, and I just can't help but feel like this is Mel Gibson's plea to the public of, like, forgive me.
I mean, he put Sean Penn in it, which makes him look a lot better.
So this is actually something interesting that I came across. This would almost be a year ago, because I had this image of who Sean Penn was. He's this terrible, like, woman beater and all that. But when I looked it up, I couldn't find any actual allegations, like solid allegations of him doing that. Because there was a whole thing with Madonna, but she came out and said, "Yeah, that's actually not true."
Well, do your own research, folks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know much about
I was
it.
super weirded out by it, because I had gone for years thinking, like, why do we keep giving him roles? He's a piece of shit. And then, like, actually looked into it, and it seemed as though, like, he hadn't I couldn't find anything. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right places, but yeah, it was really weird. It kind of threw me for a loop.
Well, it's like
About
this
Sean
week,
Penn.
Johnny Depp suing Amber Heard for defamation.
Like, for a lot of money,
I
too.
saw that.
87
$87 million or
videos
something?
from
Yeah.
surveillance footage of
yeah,
her
sorry.
beating him up. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting to see how that's going to go. But
That is such
we're,
a...
we're
And a
never
lot of
gonna know
takes. He's got a
definitively, I
lot of
guess.
assets, or whatever you would call them, to bring into court.
Documents.
What do you
Yeah,
call
yeah.
that? Documents?
Well, that was always such a weird one, because, like, there's been a couple of things that have happened along the way. Like, J.K. Rowling has come out and supported Johnny Depp for the casting and that.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
a weird move for someone like J.K. Rowling to do. Like, she's always really been on the heavily on the other side of that debate. And just the kind of the reports that came out around that, people that knew them. Yeah, that was such a weird thing to have happen. And we were really off topic now, but.
So the Professor and the Madman, I was saying as we were watching it, looks like a parody of an Oscar film.
You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those scary movie, like, offshoot ones.
Really?
Like, it looked like just not quite there.
Look, for good movie or bad movie, and character aside, I've always been really interested to watch Mel Gibson and both him and Sean Penn in whatever they're in. Whether they're good people or bad people, like, they seem like really good actors. And I'm never like, I'm always interested to see them in a film. I probably won't watch this, but I was interested to see the trailer.
I'd agree with Sean Penn. Mel Gibson, he's just got too much baggage with him for me that it has to be something really great. Yeah. And there's no doubt the man has talent. Like, and as a director as well, there's no doubt the man has talent.
Yeah. I've read some, I guess you could call it behind the scenes information that he is genuinely a madman. Like, someone went and talked to him about a script, and he just he rambled about, things for like an hour, and the person barely got a word in, and like at the end of it, they hadn't talked about the script at all. And he's like, "Well, are you in?" He's like, "We didn't talk about the script. What the fuck is going on here?"
It's supposedly he loved pranks in inverted commas. Like he's just a fucking he's Bugs Bunny on speed. He's a human being.
Nutbag.
I remember the one time I was working at the cinema and I'm there at the ticket box and up pops Mel Gibson with his new girlfriend, and I realized the girl, she looked younger than I did. She looked younger. I'm like, Mel, come on, man. What are you doing, bro? You're 60. Like, come on, dude.
All right, are you saying that if you were 60, internationally famous, and you could get, any girl that you wanted?
Listen, this is
this is not an inquisition on me.
I think it would be strange to have 30, 35 years between you and your partner. That's just me. I'm not. You can live your own life.
Cannot believe you are age shaming in this day and age.
George. Age shame the shit out of that guy.
Unbelievable. All right, moving on. Our final trailer, and this is actually out 2 weeks ago, and we missed it, which is disappointing. Is The Art of Self-Defense. This looks really, really. Interesting.
Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, there's a lot of ways this could go.
Yeah, I really liked the initial comedy where he's sort of there and the guy's sort of logging his details, and then you get this little sequence of shots, and it really inverts. Dark. And I am very, very convinced that I will like this film from this trailer. I think this is right up my alley.
I've heard this is a really interesting takedown of that kind of modern persona that, the to use terminology that is just popping in my head that's not really correct, but like the beta males who want to be alphas, like the kind of people who would be online, like verbally assaulting people. And I'm so interested to see this movie.
Yeah. It's certainly topical.
Yeah,
and it looks like great casting. He looks like he is in
I love
the zone.
Eisenberg.
And the way he was just looking up at the ceiling, and then he delivers his line. As soon as and I was like, this guy, he's just got a grasp on his body and how to move it and convey emotion. Actual acting. Like he's doing it well. A lot of people don't do it well these days.
I feel like he has a bit of he's not typecast, but he's very close to that because he always plays people that are just a little bit off. They kind of do.
He always plays Zuckerberg, pretty much.
Pretty much, he doesn't maintain eye contact. He's always a little bit socially awkward. Maybe
little
sometimes ticks, and then sometimes into the realm of like schizophrenic or whatever you want to say, but like or psychotic. Like I'd like to see some more range from him, I suppose.
That's what I liked about that other trailer we had with Alexander Skarsgård, where he was more of the boss, not the tech guy.
But he also seemed a bit manic in that as well. And
it's going to be hard to get away from that. But I guess I don't think. Listen, maybe I haven't seen all of his films, but I don't think I remember the last time I saw Jesse Eisenberg look a murderer in a movie, and that's what's interested me about this one.
Does he look like a murderer in this?
Looks like he could be.
Yeah.
That's a trailer.
Boom. Guys, let's wrap it up there, unless anyone's got a question of the week.
I had one last week and I forgot it, and that's really upsetting me now.
What about something non-movie related? What did you guys eat for lunch today? There we go.
We're definitely not doing this.
No, let's do that. Benny, some air.
I went out.
Pub lunch.
I went out. I bought a barbecue chicken and I had a sandwich.
Fuck yeah!
I had shawarma.
What's that?
You had what now?
It's shawarma. I've been getting a lot of flack for pronouncing it wrong. I've basically gone to native Arab speakers in the last couple of weeks and been like, it's pronounced shawarma as my own little joke, which yeah, it's not good.
I had this
People I know,
amazing-
not random people, by the way. Like,
just walking on the street.
I love the idea of finding someone that looks like, randomly Arab or something and just going like, it's shawarma, and then like walking away. Fuck.
So wait, you had
Shawarma.
you had
Chicken.
I had this amazing like pancake, savory pancake with corn in it and avocado and beans and fuck. I wish you guys had been there. It was quite spectacular.
So we could watch you
I'm getting excited at that.
Honestly,
I've got
this
more
is one of the
left over.
weirdest
I'm so
fucking
happy.
questions
No,
of
we're
the
showing
week.
inside our lives, boys, behind the scenes.
That's very
a little
weird.
peek
Good
behind the
question. I
corner,
like this, yeah.
the corner, the curtain, whatever the fuck. I'm done. I'm
peek
absolutely
behind the
done.
corner.
Did somebody else
Jesus
sign out
fuck.
today? Did somebody else sign out? I'm done. Listen, I'll finish it up. Thanks for joining, guys. It's been good fun. We'll be back next week. I hope I can get my words together because it's been tough.
I hope you don't, and I hope, Connor, you read the news.
Bibbidi bobbidi boop. Let's do this. Peace out. Peace out, you. Peace out, you. And bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Farewell forever. No, just kidding. We'll be back next week. Boom.
Boom. Oh.